Josh Heupel was asked today on the Zone in Nashville about the Nico Iamaleava situation, and he had the perfect counter to that. He said, we're going to call it the Joey Aguilar situation. This is Frank, House of Orange. Make sure you hit the like, the share, the subscribe. We're less than 100 away from 4,000 subs. Greatly appreciate all the support this month. It's been a really good a month of April. Now we're into May, of course, here as well. But the key to this year is going to be the Joey Aguilar situation. I know a lot of people's upset over the portal, the wide receiver situation, and such. I recorded a video last night talking about where Tennessee had Brent Austin, South Florida cornerback, in earlier in the week. Today, they had Jonathan Brady, Cal wide receiver, and Colton Hood, cornerback, defensive back from Colorado, in as well. And based on, I think it was Austin Price, VolQuest.com put out tonight that based on, him talking to both guys, the visits went really well. Rarely do they hear that they don't go well, though. But so, I guess you could take that part of it with a grain of salt. But still, yet, you look at it, it seems to me, especially because a lot of the situations, it seems Miami is the competition right now. Well, Miami's taken 2 wide receivers. They've taken, they're in on defense. They got Jacoby Thomas today, who left Tennessee as well. So how does that go with Tennessee now? With Hood, it's said that Notre Dame's a part of it. I know Cal's involved with Hood and possibly Austin as well. Austin had gone to Miami too, but we'll see on those. I think Tennessee definitely stands a chance to add some guys by the end of the week. We'll see on that one. But again, I go back to what Josh Heupel termed the Joey Aguilar situation. The key to this whole thing is going to be at the quarterback spot. That's where it's going to be. I still will sit here and tell you, last year, this team made the playoffs in spite of the quarterback. I don't think the quarterback play killed them, but it didn't propel them either. Dylan Sampson on that offense, the defense making the plays that they made on it as well. You look at where we're at this year, the big complaint's been the wide receiver position, how it's been handled. And I get it. I thought they dropped the ball in the winter portal window. And part of what I read is due to they were really making a concerted effort to get Carnell Tate, which backfired on them. And then they struggled to get in with guys. But here in the spring window, some of you said, some of you are saying they're broke. They're not. It's just that there's crazy amounts of money being wanted by guys who are not wide receiver ones, running back ones, etc. And Tennessee's just not paying it. And that's smart business in my opinion. So we look at the receiver unit this year. A big play, and somebody made a comment today I read, and I agreed with it. Big play in this Tennessee offense has been the wide receiver screen. You've got to have tight ends, wide receivers who can get out and block. You've also, in my opinion, got to have a wide receiver who can make guys miss. To me, all the guys, and I said it last year when we had the DB mass exodus, I said there's not a single guy to me that I thought was a loss. I'm saying the same thing with the wide receiver exodus that we had this year, including Squirrel White. Not a single guy we lost this year was a loss to me. Squirrel White made no plays after the catch this year. And he didn't have a good year. And I know he was hurt. I get it, he was hurt. He still did not have a good year. The rest of the guys that left, they weren't SEC quality, in my opinion, with it. They were misevaluations is what happened. And Tennessee, I don't think, was upset about any of them leaving. Maybe Squirrel. I'm not saying he wanted Squirrel to leave, but none of the rest of the guys, I don't think they were that upset about it. Now, I had seen about they liked Nimrod, but Nimrod had chances and didn't take advantage of them last year. That's why he's somewhere else. And you look at where all the guys ended up, that goes to show you that the big-time programs weren't after them along the way. I know Squirrel went to Florida State, but Florida State fluctuates up and down as to how good they are. They were bad last year. Year before, they obviously went undefeated and until they got beat in the bowl game. But look at this Tennessee wide receiver unit. Brazel, Matthews, Staley, All those guys bring things to the table that I like. And then you add in Travis Smith Jr., Radarius Jackson, Joakim Dotson there as well. That's three guys they're high on. Smith and Jackson both had really good springs. Dotson's not on campus yet. And then you have Amari Jefferson, who was added through the transfer portal. But from what I've read, he's not ready yet. Boo Carter's going to play some offense. How much remains to be seen. I think something to keep in mind that Tennessee can do, and I don't know that they will, but a Deson Brain, an Ethan Davis, could you spread them out wide, possibly, and try to create some mismatches along the way? I don't know if they will, but the guys I mentioned before, I feel there's a lot of dudes there who can make some plays for you. So, we'll see how that unit goes. To me, the offensive line should be improved. Lance Hurd's got to be better. I think he will be. Your guard spots with Wendell Moore Jr., with Pendleton, I think they'll be better. Now, it's going to be hard to be better than Cooper Mays at center. I'm not going to lie about that one. Satterwhite, though, we'll see how he does, or whoever takes that job. And then David Sanders Jr. is going to be an upgrade. I know there's going to be probably some growing pains along the way with him, but you don't recruit a guy that hard and probably pay him the money that you need to if you're not expecting him to come in and immediately contribute. Tight ends should be real good. Running backs, yes, you don't have Dylan Sampson, but what kind of step does Peyton Lewis take? To me, Peyton Lewis is the most talented of the group, even though they talk really highly of DeJuan Morris as well. But I don't think you can discount Deshaun Bishop, as it just said he's just a solid running back who gets the job done. So I think we're going to be good there. So if you put all that together, what's that revolve back to? You guessed it, the quarterback spot. Nothing about last year nor the spring gave me confidence in Nico taking a big step this year. You had the low throw to Dante Thornton against Alabama. You had the throw in the back of the end zone to Chris Brazzell, both of them against Alabama. That showed you the talent he had. But other than that, and I'm not counting Chattanooga, Kent State, and those games. I'm counting big boy football, SEC football. And the fact of the matter is, there was nothing that really gave me a lot of confidence in Nico this year. And spring reports, it seemed like there was nothing there that said this guy's ready to blow up this year. So now we don't know with Aguilar. UCLA chose to bring in Iamaleava over Aguilar. So what could be said there? But I've said this before. I was talking about this Monday. Somebody I know well said, and they have a family member who played for App State. They know Aguilar well. Said, great kid, hard worker, all the things there. Did acknowledge, you have the one game good, the one rough game, but did say that he did not have the talent around him at Appalachian State last year. He still put up over 3,000 yards both years there. Better numbers the year before because he had better talent. Last year, still put up over 3,000. Yes, the interceptions were high. Josh Heupel talked today. One thing he said with Aguilar is consistency. That's got to be what he's referring to on it. But he said he's got a lot of the attributes that we like: standing in the pocket, escaping the pocket, making the throw, and the ability to run if needed as well. Yes, it's going to be a competition between Aguilar, Merklinger, and McIntyre. To me, Aguilar wins out when it's all said and done. And you give him the protection. You give him the plan here as well. Again, the good thing about it, during the Heupel era of 4 years, interceptions have never been high. Yes, all quarterbacks are going to throw them at some point, but they've not been a major issue along the way. You got to like that aspect of it. And something I like this year as well, because one of two things is going to happen. Joey Halsley, Kelsey Pope, Glenn Ellerby, they are on expiring contracts this year. If those guys want to stick around, which I would imagine they do, this is their year to coach their asses off and earn extensions. Are you the coaches that Josh Heupel has went to bat for, kept you around for, or was it quarterback issues, or are these guys just not up to par? We're going to find out this year. And I hope it's guys coaching for their coaching lives, because if you don't get renewed at Tennessee, you're going down a notch, or you may go be an NFL analyst or something along the way. But along the way, too, Tennessee has brought in multiple analysts. You take a Seth Luttrell. Yeah, Oklahoma made the change at offensive coordinator, but he and Heupel are friends. They're familiar with one another. The guy won games at North Texas. He's not a bum. You bring him in. They've brought analysts in on both sides to help with things. The Joey Aguilar situation, to me, is going to be the most important storyline this season when you get to Tennessee football. If he does his job, he's got a chance here. He's got a chance to change his life. He goes from Guilford Technical Community College to Appalachian State 2 years. Transfers out to Los Angeles and UCLA. He's not even out there 4 whole months. And it's changed again. Do you think that's not a guy with a chip on his shoulder who is probably right now saying this was a blessing in disguise? I just went from UCLA, which has been down, to a team that just made the playoffs with subpar quarterback play, and I've got a chance to come in and be that guy. I've got a chance to come in and put my name in Tennessee history. Not necessarily the record book. Maybe he does single season, but just to be that Tennessee folk hero. The Joey Aguilar situation, to me, is going to be the number one storyline to watch going into this season. Because if he comes in, he does his job, plays solid football, this Tennessee team should be pretty good on it. With that being said, you've got road games at Florida, at Alabama. You've got Georgia coming to Knoxville as well. If I were picking today, I would pick all 3 of them as losses, because we know how Tennessee plays on the road, and I have to see it to believe it against Georgia. Hopefully Joey Aguilar is a guy who is the fit that this program needs coming in. That allows, hopefully, Merklinger, George McIntyre that year, that they can kind of learn and progress. And then next year, you've got Merklinger, McIntyre, Faison, Brandon ready to battle it out for that starting job. That's the perfect scenario to me with it. Aguilar, a 1-year guy, and then you turn it over to one of those. But we'll see where it goes along the way. Any portal news comes out, I'll get on here. Of course, Tennessee basketball has an assistant coach opening. Apparently, they know who it is, and from what Rob Lewis, VolQuest.com, said, it is not going to be Rodney Terry. And that's who a lot of people, myself included, speculated it may be. So that'll be interesting to see who it is as well. Once again, like, share, subscribe. Check out the link in the description. Channel memberships, channel Patreon. And if you just want to say thanks, bottom right-hand corner, super thanks. Always greatly appreciated as well. Frank Rock, House of Orange. Last but not least, go Vols.